It is the rhythm of the city, 94.3 WYBC. I am Wanda Coppage back here with you with another great episode of the Electric Drum. Today, I have the privilege of speaking to, I guess you could say he's a performing arts person because he does a little music, he does a little acting, he does a little bit of it all. And you might be familiar with him because he's in one of our favorite shows, Power Raising Canaan. His name, Kyle Beamon, and he's from the greater New Haven area. We're going to talk with him. Kyle, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So let's jump right on in. You are from the greater New Haven area. Which area are you from?
So I was born at Yale New Haven Hospital. Um, I lived in West Haven for the first 3 years of my life. Now I live in Meriden. So
Okay. Uh,
Connecticut through and through.
And I already asked him this off camera, but we're going to do it again. Tell us how old you are.
I'm 20.
So, 20 years old, you are doing music. We'll get into that. You're doing a little acting. When did you decide or discover that this is a passion of yours and you wanted to pursue this?
Okay, so I started playing guitar at 9 years old. After one Christmas, I got Guitar Hero, and I just fell in love with the game. um, and so mom was like, "Why don't you just learn how to play the instrument for real?" And I'm like, "That's a great idea." So I start learning. Turns out I'm kind of good at it. Um,
I'd
I started.
say, yeah. So,
Yeah,
did you take private lessons?
I did. Yeah.
Okay,
For the first like 5 years, and then since then I've been self-taught.
nice. That's a true talent. Not everyone can do that. So, kudos to you. Tell us about school for you. Where did you go to school?
Let's see. Like, where do you want me to start?
Let's start at the beginning. Let's do elementary, grade school, high school.
Yeah, so I went to Thomas Hooker in Meriden for elementary school. For sixth and seventh grade, I went to a Catholic school called Corpus Christi in
Okay.
Weathersfield. That wasn't great, so I came back to Meriden, went to Washington for eighth grade. That was a lot better, and from there I went to Maloney for high school.
Okay. And graduated from Maloney.
Yep.
You said Corpus Christi wasn't great. What wasn't great about it?
It just wasn't the vibe. Wasn't right. Wasn't good for me. Um, I think the lack of diversity got to me for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, it just the environment wasn't the best to learn in. So I saw that and left.
Did you express that to your parents that it wasn't really a vibe for you and
Yeah,
they
and they
agreed?
saw it. They saw it, and we knew what we had to do. So
Nice. When parents can recognize and you as the youth involved, that's a great thing. So you moved on over to your high school. And did you start acting in high school?
no, I started acting in middle school.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I started acting with theater at Corpus Christi during my my sixth grade performance. What was it? Grease. It was
Grease.
Grease.
And which role
Yeah.
did you play?
Vince Fontaine.
Nice. Even
Yeah.
got the voice down pat. So you started acting in middle school. What was it that drew you into acting? When did you say, "You know what? I think I want to be on stage performing."
That's a great question. I don't know if I can actually pinpoint the exact
The
moment
moment. Okay.
when I was like, yeah, I want to do this. But I think I've always been a performer of sorts, just like making up little dances because you're younger. It's like do a little dance with your auntie. So it's that. It was always me for those moments. So
Especially around the holidays, parents always have our
uh
children performing.
do a little dance you just made up. Yeah. So that was me a lot when I was younger.
Well, at least that your parents encouraged you and supported you. Do you have siblings?
I do not. It's just me.
Only child? Okay.
Mhm.
What was that like growing up being the only child?
Lonely. No, I'm kidding. It was cool. Uh, I mean,
What
like,
what
the
was it
attention,
lonely for real?
no, no, not
Okay.
really. Because I can make friends. I don't think I've had a problem with that really growing up. It's weird not like living with anybody that's like around your age,
Mhm.
but other than that, I'd say I was chilling. Yeah.
And what about social media, video games? Did you find yourself doing the whole virtual video games and making friends that way? Did you spend a lot of time doing that?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'd say up until like 2020, I was like chronically online. It was awful. Um, yeah, yeah, it was rough. But I think you find a lot of beautiful things through it. And when you like revisit it at an older age, you come to see that like, wow, a lot of this stuff had a lot of care and time put into it, and you appreciate it more than you did when you were younger. So
Nice. Okay. Well, you seem to be a very well-rounded young man, so I wouldn't say
thank
that
you,
it was a bad influence on you.
thank you.
Musically, you started with guitar, got into some Guitar Hero, you started taking lessons. So is the guitar your instrument of choice, or do you have other instruments?
I think I'm focusing more on digital production now. But when it
Nice.
comes to live performances, yeah, guitar is my go-to.
Nice. Tell us about the digital production. How'd you get into that?
So my sophomore year of high school, I actually had a music technology class, and there we learned like the basics of GarageBand,
Mhm.
and it made a lot of sense to me considering I already had a music background. Um, and I didn't really take it serious until maybe summer 2020, where I ended up getting Logic, like the step up from GarageBand,
Mhm.
and I spent a lot of time just on YouTube watching tutorials and just getting better at it. And when I was confident with what I created, I decided to start Revenge K, and that's how it came to be.
Now, Revenge K, is that the name of your production company or your name?
That is my name. I go by
Okay.
Revenge K. Yes.
Okay. Now, I would have to say 8 years old is when you professionally started acting, correct?
Yeah.
What was your first gig? What was your first role that you booked?
Um, what was it? It was Cobblestone Corridor. Yeah, there was a show on I think it was like a C-SPAN network.
Okay.
Um, and it was cool. It was like a school mystery, just a background. Just got dressed in my little suit and walked around for a little bit, and it was cool.
You
Um,
you have to take us from the beginning. Like we know you did some acting in middle school, but how did you get into professional acting?
so my my 7th grade performance, um, like for like the drama club, what was it? Shrek. Yeah. Yeah, it
Okay.
was Shrek. Played Shrek. Pretty
You
cool.
played Shrek?
Yeah, I got the lead. Um,
Congratulations.
well, thank you. And I was like, "Huh, that's pretty cool." I mean, they like
Mhm.
they like the way I sing. They like the acting. And so I went to my mom and said, I could probably like do this." Just saying things. But she was like, "Okay." So we went to a talent management called Connecticut Kids Talent Management. I did an audition for them. I read, and they were like, "You have a great voice. We'll take them." So, and
Nice.
it's been with them for, let's see. Oh, I gotta do the math now. I was like
You
12. Whoo, yeah, it's like 6 years. 6 years with them. And when I was 18, then I got connected with one of the agencies through Connecticut Kids called Stewart Talent, and that's my current representation. So,
nice. So what has that balancing school, because you were obviously young, still in
mhm.
school, and obviously your parents were very heavily involved in that process. What was it like balancing the start of your career with school?
um, I think I don't have any regrets when it comes to me staying in school up until like my sophomore year of college, when I decided to like take a break from it.
Okay.
Um, because I do think that education is important, and sticking through with it to like, getting my like high school diploma, I think that was a good choice. It certainly does restrict your availability,
Mhm.
but I've got time. I'm gonna look like this for a minute, I think. So
And if you're going to see the video after I post it online,
okay.
Kyle Beamon, 20 years old, he has a baby face. And we were just speaking about how he takes on roles of teenagers, like 14, 15-year-olds, because that's how old he looks.
Yeah,
What's that like for you being in the business, but being able to book these young roles?
beneficial.
Mhm.
For sure. For
Because
sure,
I
for
I
sure.
would imagine it you won't there are certain documents and labor laws, child labor laws when you are a child actor, but if you can get an adult to play a child role, you kinda bypass all that.
It's even better, yeah. Recently I was in a Nerf commercial. Yeah, and one of the actors I was in it with, she was 31, looked 12.
Really?
So like,
Come on now.
get it how you can. Uh,
I love that. That could be you too. I don't see that face changing at any point.
yeah.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So let's go back to Revenge K. So
All
Revenge
right.
K is your artist name in the music field.
Yep.
So tell us about some of the work that you're working on as of right now as Revenge K.
Okay, so I've like my newest release is called Cupid 2 and it'll be out this Friday, December 16th. Um it's kind of a ballad. It's a continuation of my last song, Cupid 1, I guess, but it's not called Cupid 1 because there's no one there.
Got you.
But Cupid, and it's just a love song. They're mostly love songs. But I'd say that the instrumentation is where it differs from a lot of other works, as like it incorporates kind of like trap drums alongside R&B melodies and a more like subdued and kind of like grounded feel, I
Nice.
suppose. Yeah,
I can feel the passion when you speak about your music.
I love it. I love
And
it so much.
this is you write and produce your own stuff, yes?
Yes,
And R&B, it sounds like it's very heavily R&B influenced. So
absolutely.
tell us about your passion, your journey with R&B.
So I think it stems from, well, just growing up in a black household for sure. But when I started to learn guitar, a lot of stuff I was learning was jazz, and jazz just kind of grows and evolves into what it does.
Mhm.
Um, so I think the arrangements are that definitely getting that influence from R&B and a lot more like earlier R&B, like some like SWV, you know.
Nice. You jumped
I
right on in with the 90s. You know that's my
Yeah,
era.
that's it's so good. It's just a great era
Yeah,
for R&B. I think they don't write melodies like that anymore, for sure.
I would have to agree with you.
Yeah.
So are you trying to have you done any sampling from any of the songs from the
Yeah,
90s?
I have, but I can't release it just because of clearances. I don't know
Yeah.
who I would get in contact with to get that cleared.
Well, it
Um,
will come to you. I definitely feel like if
Absolutely.
it will come to you. Who are the artists that you're listening to from present day?
Oof, jeez. There's a lot. There's a lot. I think people in like in a similar space to what I create. Shout out Marzi, another artist like from Connecticut, really
Okay.
really talented. Um, who else? Who else? I listen to a lot of Jay Saucy.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. It's like people in the underground that I'm just kind of operating in the same space with. I that's what I'm listening to on a day to day basis.
Yeah. And I love that you're supporting one another. That's a great thing.
I
Any
love it.
thoughts
Yeah,
on collaborating with these Connecticut artists?
in the works. In the
In the
works.
works. Okay.
Yeah.
And what about performances? Have you booked any performances here in Connecticut?
Not in Connecticut, but I've had some performances at schools in New York while I was
Okay.
going to school there, so that was cool. Um,
Nice.
yeah,
Now you said you did, and if you're just tuning in, this is the Electric Drum. I'm speaking with Kyle Beamon. He is an actor, producer, a right. He's an artist, okay, and he's from the Greater New Haven area. We're going to get into some of his acting a little bit later, but you spoke about s- going to school to further your education, and sophomore year you decided to put it on pause. What have you been studying, or what were you studying, and at which school?
yeah. So I attended Hofstra University for my freshman and sophomore years,
Okay,
and I was studying film studies and production.
nice.
Yeah, but I realized that the film wasn't really what I was passionate about, and it was the music that was moving me. So when I went to like transfer, they was like, they just kind of discouraged me in a little bit, saying that it was a 4-year program, and since I was already 2 years deep, you'd graduate longer. It would like little bit. I was like, I'll leave, and then I did that. So
Yeah. So if it was a smoother transition, like some of your credits would transfer over, you would have decided to stay?
what I say, maybe I'm not really sure.
Okay.
Like from what I've seen from that program, it's nice. But, like, when they're offering like connections. And I wasn't necessarily in a spot where I was confident in like what I would show them would like be right
Okay.
at the time.
Okay.
So I realized that I learn best when I can like set aside time for myself and really just experience and experience and experience. And since I've left, I've made like great strides in my
Yes.
opinion. Um,
Absolutely. Absolutely. And of course, life experiences, you can't learn that in a classroom. So I completely
no,
agree with that. But at some point, do you see yourself going back to school?
I do. Yeah,
Okay.
I do.
Just not in the immediate future.
No, no.
Okay.
I mean, with things picking up on the acting side and on the music side, it's good to like focus on those and not have to worry about school. Um,
Well, let's
'Cause-
talk about how things are picking up on the acting side. Let's jump right into Stars Power. That franchise is just incredible. And you are on the latest one, Raising Canaan. Tell us
yes,
about your role, your character, and how you landed that position.
yeah. So I was at school at the time, and I got um the audition through my agent.
Mhm.
And so I the way like the dorm building was set up, there's like a 12th floor. It's just kind of empty. It's like a lounge area. So I took my camera up there, a little tripod. I found a blank wall. I did the audition, and next couple days, got a call back, and I was like, oh, this is cool. So so
Were you watching Power, any of the Powers at all before you landed the role?
nope.
No.
But it's huge. So like I knew about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um,
And what about 50? You knew about 50 Cent,
of
obviously.
course, of course.
Okay. So what was it like on set once you started working?
It was great. It was my first time having a trailer. That was wild. So I remember. Oh, okay. I gotta take it back. I gotta take it back. I gotta take it
Okay.
back. So my like my shoot date for the episode that I was in happened to be the day after this concert that I had tickets for.
Okay.
And this was in the city. So I go to this concert, right? My call time is at 4 in the morning the next day.
Oh, wow.
Concert gets out at midnight.
That's that
So
YOLO. YOLO.
uh-huh. So so I leave, um I catch the train back. I'm laying in my dorm just staring at the ceiling. I'm laying there, I'm like, I can't go to sleep because I know I have to be up. So I'm just staring, staring, staring. And it's so cool. It felt surreal. Like when I eventually made it to set. Um, because I was like, oh, I'm all groggy, no sleep, another club, another club, another club. No,
I love it. I love it. So were you able, once you got on set, were you able to kind of just turn it on like it's go time?
yeah, yeah, that's always kind of how it's been. Because you don't have time
Mhm.
to like to settle into it. Like you know what your role is, and you gotta get into it.
And what is your
So,
role? Tell us the name of your character again.
friend.
Friend on Power.
Yep.
Now, what do you do to prepare, if anything?
I just
How
be
do
myself.
you
I'm
get
just,
in?
I'm just me.
Oh, okay. So no
Yeah.
particular routine to get into character.
No, not really. I try and restrain from saying certain like terms that you just wouldn't use in like the 90s because it's like a period piece.
Mhm.
Like there wasn't a whole lot of bro, yeah, and do a lot. That's like a server thing, and I didn't really know this until I got there.
Mhm.
So like I got a little stunt blunt in my hand, right? I don't know if I can say that on here, but like so it was my role to pass it off.
It's
Um,
fine.
um, but like so like I'm literally just I got it and I'm passing it off, right? But I'm like, yo, hit this, bro. And they're like, whoa, whoa, everybody's like, don't say that, don't say bro. Nobody was saying bro. And
No
so
one was saying, bro.
I didn't know this. I was born in '02.
Mhm.
So
That's funny. So what did you have to say after you obviously you did a retake, cut,
yeah,
let's do
I
it
was
again.
like, yo, there's a whole lot of yos.
Mhm.
Uh-huh. Um, and so I think I'm sorry, I just thought about it for a second.
A lot of yos, a lot of fam, depending on
Yeah.
which area. And this is New York, so yeah, a
Uh-huh.
lot of the same lingo. It's so you do a wonderful job. So, and that's a part of getting into character. It's wonderful. It's
Yeah.
wonderful.
No, it
Is
was
there
fun.
is there any particular actor you would love to work with?
Ooh. Ooh, that's such a loaded question. Okay. At at this moment in time, yeah, I think I would want to share a scene with Daniel Kaluuya.
That's is that the actor from Nope?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Great
that'd be
actor.
dope. So
Mhm.
cool. So cool.
Absolutely. And I'm gonna ask you the same about music. Is there any particular artist, music artist, producer that you would love to work with?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think so the sound that I'm like currently trying to work my way into the space has some pioneers for sure. And like Autumn Summers to go to my opinion of that like new age kind of R&B trap infused like plug, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Um I would love to work with either of them. I think they have great flows, great cadences, and yeah, that would be great. That would be a dream come true. Um
Now, Cal, I can't. I have to ask you this because obviously you're already on your way. You've been doing this for a while. You are of age now to be able to continue doing this as an adult. Finances. Are we managing the finances correctly, and do you have a team in place to make sure that you're on point with that? Does your parents, are they involved?
yeah, I mean, I'm conscious about it. I'm I've always been pretty frugal, I think.
That's a good
Um
thing.
yeah, so I'm not too pressed about it. I've got a way like so that way all my like rights are protected with my distribution and everything on the music side of things and
Nice.
acting like I read my contracts. There's nothing that I'm like glancing over.
That is wonderful. Always
So
be involved in that. So that
yeah,
brings me to one of my questions I was going to ask. You are obviously you look like us, the people here in the community. If you have a young person listening to you, aspiring to do exactly what you are doing right now, what would be some words of inspiration, advice that you would want to give them?
it's cliche, but do not give up. If you feel it in your heart that this is what you want to do, listen to yourself and take yourself serious.
Mm,
Take yourself serious 100%
I love
because
that.
that next audition can be the role that changes your life. That next song could be the song that blows you up,
Well,
and you would never know. And you would never know.
absolutely. And what about the importance of your village? Tell us about that.
Oh, it cannot be understated.
And who's included in your village?
I'd say my parents for sure.
Mhm.
Um, I make music with my best friends, Xavier, Fran. They're cool people. Um,
Absolutely.
I learned a lot from them. Um, and the life lessons that my parents have instilled in me, they're gonna stick with me. So I'm thankful for them, and I'm thankful for all those around me. I think that it's definitely quality over quantity when it comes to your tribe.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's all I can say.
I love hearing that from the voice of young people because it sounds like obviously you're on the right path and you know a little something something.
I try. I try.
That's a beautiful thing. So tell us about some of the past roles. I know you had another role on HBO, another show on HBO. Blue Bloods, was it Blue Bloods?
Um, there's HBO. There's Divorce. There's that
HBO
one.
Divorce, yes. And
Yeah.
you did Orange is the New Black.
Yep.
Which role did you have in Orange is the New Black?
It's just a background role. I'm sitting in the back of a classroom. It was a flashback scene. It's season 5, episode 5, if I'm
Okay.
not mistaken. Yeah, you can see me in the back. I was like maybe 12 there. But yeah, that was a cool role.
Did you find that you did a lot of background extra roles before you became an adult? Was that usually what you were booking, extras?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I think it like a lot of that's just the grunt work that you have to do in the beginning. Um,
obviously, you gotta start from the beginning. Start from
so
the bottom.
I've got no qualms with that. Um, it's just a process, and you gotta trust it. So
Which one would you choose, acting or music? If you
Music,
had to choose music, you said that with no
10,000%.
hesitation.
Mhm, mhm.
Uh, okay. So tell me about music. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years musically?
Ooh, next 5 years, 5 years, 5 years. Um, I'm a big fan of keeping it, like, low key and have your art be appreciated for, like, the art that it is, and not so much from, like, a public figure standpoint.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, because, like, at the end of the day, it's like, it's my expression, um, and I don't really want it to be, like, something that you associate, like a persona with, I guess. Like you can interpret like music in a bunch of ways, and I think that's the beauty of it, you know?
Mhm.
But when you have a strong face behind you telling you like this is what it is, I think it kind of takes away from some of that.
So you
Um,
want people to receive it how they receive it.
absolutely, yeah. Because I try and keep my lyrics pretty like vague. They're not too on the nose with everything. I think there's a little bit of a like a fantasy element with some of my works, and you'll hear it a lot more with Cupid too. Um, and a little EP that I'm working on, but
Do
that's on the low low.
Oh, because I was
Um,
gonna ask when are we gonna expect the EP, but you're still
there's there's
working.
there's no there's no date but
Okay.
I'm working for
Well,
sure.
where can we follow you to hear your music?
So
What's
it's Revenge K, the same way it's spelled on the screen if you're watching this.
okay.
That's Revenge, capital K, exclamation point, all streaming platforms. Also, if you wanna follow me on Instagram, it's Revenge Flavored. That's Revenge, FLAV0RED. Um, yes, that's where you can find me.
Nice. And we're gonna go back to acting real quick. Are you continuing with Power?
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who
That's
knows?
it's
But
I always wanted to ask this with you being an actor, is that one of the downsides of working with a show, a movie, or actually just a show because you never know if the next season is even happening?
yeah, I mean, when I got there, like a lot of the crew was like super receptive to me. They were like, we like you. I think you'll be back.
Okay.
So
So you'll
yeah,
be back. We're just going to say that. He's coming back. That's just
mhm,
what it is. And if not, we'll see him in something else. I guarantee it.
for
This
sure.
is Kyle Beamon, Revenge K. Where'd the name come from? How'd you get the name? What gave you the
So
name?
I was thinking about the phrase that living well is the best revenge, right? And I was like, huh, revenge has a lot of weird quotes around it, like revenge is a dish best served cold. What does that even taste like? It's probably revenge flavored, and so that's how the username came about. And I just stuck with it. Yeah,
I love your thought process. I love it. Absolutely. Revenge K, again, Kyle Beeman, straight out of the greater New Haven area. He's doing wonderful, wonderful
yeah,
works. And he already gave us his social. So, people, are you open to people contacting you if they want to pick your brain about some
absolutely,
things?
absolutely.
This is the electric drum. Before we close, Kyle, do you have any last words? Anything you want to say? Any shout outs?
Ooh, ooh. Yeah, Cupid 2 out December 16th. Listen to it. All streaming platforms. It's beautiful. I put my heart into it. I hope you enjoy. It's been a pleasure.
And if you could, if you have it on MP3, obviously, right?
I do, yeah.
Can you email that to us so we can get
I
that on
can.
for you?
I
I
can. I
love it.
can.
Electric drum, wonderful talent right here in our greater New Haven area. And this is proof of it. And like I said, this is going to be posted to social media and on YouTube after it airs. So you can go back and check out his beautiful smile and his baby face right here on YBC. It's the electric drum. You have Flashback Sunday coming up next. Keep it locked for more R&B. I am Wanda Coppage. Meet me back here next week for another great conversation of the electric drum and have a wonderful night.